Oklahoma and Texas could potentially look to join the SEC across all of sports, but particularly in college football. And that is a mistake that they would be making. I'm going to talk more about it right after the bumper. What's good, everybody? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss Channel, Victory Formation. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Oklahoma and University of Texas are looking to uproot the Big 12 and hit the hay for the SEC, and particularly in the college football space when their contracts are over. There's reports that have come out that says Oklahoma in Texas both are exploring their options and have reached out to the SEC because it sounds like their contracts with the Big Ten are set to expire. I'm going to read you some from Yahoo Sports because I love Yahoo Sports. It says the news of a report Oklahoma and Texas expressed an interest to join the SEC. Tornado through the ACC Media Day. Mac Brown cracked a smile, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. It came originally from the Houston Chronicle. This would be the most significant switching of leagues in the modern history of college athletics. After speaking with several sources, this is Pete Thamel, by the way. After speaking to several sources all around college athletics, the sense is these conversations are very real and could move quickly. The next step in potential process will be OU and Texas communicating their plans to the Big 12 before formally expressing interest to the SEC. It's uncertain when that would be, but the publicity from Wednesday would potentially expedite the timeline. And obviously the SEC has come out and is like, hey, we ain't heard nothing from Oklahoma and Texas. The University of Oklahoma and Texas have both said, hey, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to address rumors. But, where there's smoke, there's normally fire, especially when it comes to college athletics and athletics in general. Here's the thing. This would be bad on several fronts, particularly for Texas. And let's talk about Texas. First of all, Texas is one of the most profitable schools, at least in athletics, in the country. It has one of the most recognizable brands in athletics in the country, especially in football. But Texas isn't a football powerhouse as a school. Now, the state of Texas is a football powerhouse. The state of Texas produces just as many, if not the most, football players on the collegiate level, Power 5, Division I level in the country. The state of Texas is full. Like, the state of Texas gets 40,000 people to high school games, right? Like, there is prospects galore in that state. Normally, the top, 10 of the top 50 or 25 best players come from the state of Texas. The other 10 come from Miami, and then you get them from, pick and choose California, whatever. But Texas makes up a good chunk. Florida makes up a good chunk. Texas makes up a good chunk. California makes up a good chunk. That's where most of the top prospects in college football come from. They come from pretty much 3 states: Texas, Florida, California. It is what it is. It's just how it works. And then obviously you got the guys up northeast, Pennsylvania and stuff, and Ohio and, different places. But the 3 top states are Texas, Florida, California. Now, here's the thing. With all that being said, Texas has won the Big 12 3 times in 25 years. And when Vince Young was there a couple times, but they ain't really been much of nothing over the last 25 years. Outside of the Vince Young years, and then you had Garrett Gilbert, or Colt McCoy years. You had the Colt McCoy years, you had the Vince Young years. And even that had a gap in between. But since then, and then even a little bit before then, Texas was just okay. The cream of the crop of the Big 12 has been Oklahoma. You've had Jalen Hurts, who was a 2nd-round pick. Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, who were number 1 overall picks. Spencer Rattler, who's the favorite to be the number 1 overall pick in this upcoming draft. Obviously, guys like Sam Bradford and Adrian Peterson and all these guys who have not only been great college players, Heisman Trophy winning college players, award-winning college players, but even made some noise at the NFL level. Oklahoma has been the cream of the crop in the Big 12. The Big 12 would be devastated, not if Texas left, but if they lose Oklahoma. The problem with these two schools going to the SEC, specifically in football, is I don't know if these schools love football as much as the SEC loves football. Like I said, Texas can't even get the coach right. They had Tom Herman, let him go. They had Charlie Strong, let him go. They ran Mac Brown out of town. I don't know if they love football enough to be down there in the trenches and have to see Nick Saban every year, or have to see Dan Mullen in Florida every year, or LSU every single year. Every year where you're really on the hot seat. Texas can't even keep a coach now in the Big 12. How in the hell are they going to be able to keep a coach when they have to compete with Jimbo Fisher and A&M again? A&M and Texas hate each other right now, but they're going to have to play them a lot. They're going to play LSU. They're going to play Florida. They're going to play, Alabama. Arkansas's program's coming up. You know what I mean? Like, Kentucky is doing a lot better. And you can't even keep a coach now in the Big 12? You want to go play those guys? Now, Oklahoma will be in a lot better space. As I just said, Oklahoma, they have their coach of the future. He's going to be there for the next 15 years, 20 years. And they get the quarterback right. That's the one thing about Oklahoma. They always get the quarterback right. Whether it's Baker, and then you go from Baker to Kyler, and then you go from Kyler to transfer in Jalen Hurts, and then you go from Jalen Hurts to potentially the number 1 overall pick in this upcoming draft in Spencer Rattler. And then they got a guy that's backing up Spencer Rattler this year that'll be another top 10, top 5 pick when his turn comes up. He's that good. So Oklahoma's going to be fine. Oklahoma's basketball program, they're going to be fine. Texas can't even keep their coach on the basketball court. They ran Rick Barnes out. Shaka Smart left them for Marquette. Now, they did get Chris, the guy from Texas Tech. He's really good. He's brought in some big-time transfers. The SEC is just, especially in football, because that's where all the money's at, it's a different kind of beast. And I just don't know if Texas and Oklahoma love, as universities, love and want to be that intense on the football field. The SEC don't mess around. Nick Saban gets coaches fired. And Texas can't even keep a coach in the Big 12 past 5 years. What's it going to look like when you're playing Nick Saban all the time? And when you go back to playing A&M again? And when you have to schedule Kirby Smart in Georgia? And Dan Mullen in Florida? And Orgeron down in LSU? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're going to make a lot of money as a university. And that's really what it comes down to. You're going to make a whole lot of money. But is it going to be worth that constant cycle? Is it going to be worth allowing those prospects in Texas that you're already losing to Alabama? Some of the best players at Alabama and Ohio State come from the state of Texas. And they're going to allow them to invade your state by coming there and playing you every year? Just giving prospects even more opportunity to see Alabama, to see Georgia, to see Florida? You want that to happen? That way your recruiting gets even weaker? It's not a smart move, Texas. It's not a smart move, Oklahoma. Leave your thoughts in the chat. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. at the Black Boss Channel. And be sure to follow me on Twitter at JLightsy7. I post content on there all the time. We have interesting conversations like this one. Texas, Oklahoma going to the SEC. It will be a shock heard around the college football world. Leave your thoughts in the chat. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. at the Black Boss Channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Peace.